everyone, it's Ray here, reporting for City Women Fan TV. And once again, we're joined by Bettina. How are you doing, Bettina?
Yes, I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Very good. You still got your Gothenburg scarf on.
I was just going to say, I've got my little T-shirt as well that they actually signed for me. So that was really very nice.
Wow. Now that is, talking of special mementos, that has really got to be one of the best things you can get.
It's very special. I mean, there was a campaign by Damallsvenskan to say that, you know, the players really were missing the supporters, and they put the names of the supporters on. So, and then the players very kindly signed it for me as well. And so, yeah, it's the kind of what they are. So
it is fantastic. It's good of them to do that. Obviously, guys, we're here to talk about the return leg in the Champions League. It's only a few days since we played you. And we're going to be playing again next week. So there's not a lot happening in between. You guys, you've not had any competitive games. We have one today. We're filming on Sunday. We're playing Arsenal. So at least we have, it depends how you want to look at it. And we'll talk about this later, whether it's an advantage for you guys or not, that we're having to play a big high-profile game against Arsenal. So we're not going to rest anybody before we play you in a couple of days' time. But I want to start off by looking back at that game, and I've got to big you up. I've already done this on social media. The game was pretty much, as you said, or as we said in our last preview, you had some sparkling attackers and you did cause us problems, especially with the pressure you put us under at the back. But your defence was a little bit weak, and I said I think the game was going to be won in midfield, and we had, I don't think there's any question, the stronger midfield, and we had a lot of chances. So how do you want to reflect on the game from last week?
So it was exactly what I expected, yes. Because we do have very good attackers. Our midfield, I think, is exceptional, but we are missing two incredibly important players at the back. You know, Koika has left, and so has Sonnet. So they have left a huge gap. mcfc was playing in midfield during the season, but before she wasn't back as well. So I think she did pretty well. But you know, it's you've got very tough opponents in Man City. And I do think that we were exposed at the back, and that's, you know, where the mistakes happened and where you guys scored the 2 goals.
Yeah. Which of your players do you think played well?
I do think that Hannah Week, actually, the youngster, I think she was incredible. I think, Filippa Kurmark, she was very, very good as well. Again, Palo Hammond and Amako Visto, but I think the standout player was actually our goalie, Jennifer Falk. I mean, she was incredible. She made some incredible saves. We were lucky as well a few times, obviously, with the bar getting hit. But, you know, she's an exceptional goalie. She was injured for a long time. She was out with concussion, so she was out for a long time. But since she's been back, she's been incredible. She's played so many games as well, kept lots of clean sheets. I think she was exceptional during this game.
She's kept you in the tie, and look, City won 2-1. You can argue we could have scored a lot more goals, but you know, whether a little bit of luck on your part from the woodwork, some good goalkeeping, some last-ditch defending as well. You ended up with a loss, but as I said before the game last week, at least the tie is still alive. It's not finished yet, is it?
Absolutely. I mean, we still have to think, all we have to do is score 2 goals. I know that's a big ask. You know, it is a big ask. But I do think that, you know, a lot of people probably thought it was going to be an easy walkover, but, you know, we are a very good team and we play very positive football. So we don't just sit back and defend all the time and then, you know, play on the counter. We've never done that as a club. The team has always been very forward, always, you know, very tough football as well. And I'm glad that, you know, in a way, playing Man City and being the underdogs, I think they have the advantage of, you know, they can play a bit more freely, whereas it's more pressure on Man City, and especially, as you mentioned earlier on as well, they have a game today, which I think will actually work in Gothenburg's favour, because they will be a little bit more rested. But I don't know if you disagree with that, I'm afraid, maybe.
No, the game against Arsenal works both ways for City. It will give us, will keep us playing, keep that momentum going as well. And the players, you can argue they're not getting a lot of rest, but you'd expect professional players to be able to play Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday or Tuesday or whenever it is. You'd expect them to be able to do that, and you know, it's that match fitness and that form. They keep all that, but on the other hand, we could get some injuries. If you lose to Arsenal, if it's a bad loss or a poor performance, maybe there will be a hangover from that. So you want to look at it. I want to look at it in a positive way, but we've got to give it a lot. It's a big game emotionally and mentally against Arsenal because we want to challenge for the Women's Super League. And if you don't beat Arsenal, that makes that challenge for the top positions even more difficult. So I think mentally it's going to take a lot out of the players, unless it's a one-sided game and we win comfortably. Then you take a lot of positives going forward. So it's hard to assess, how the impact of this game. So what are you guys? Obviously, you said that you're going to have to score 2 goals. What are you going to do? What are you going to have to change to make sure you beat us by 2? It's either going to be 2-0, 3-1. How are you going to do that?
See, I was surprised to see Julia Rodda in defence, because we also have a player, Philippa Kurmark, who has played at the back before as well. So I was a little bit surprised to see Julia at the back. I think she is actually a very strong player, and she does make these forward runs when she is in midfield. So I guess for me personally, I would probably swap those 2 players over to have Kurmark, Kuhlberg and Koivisto at the back, and then have Rodda moving into the midfield. And also, I think they're going to just have to go for it and put 3 forwards on. We have Evelyn EJ. She's a very, very talented young player. She was actually substituted onto the field, but quite late in the game, where she replaced Stina Blackstenius. But I just think they're going to have to go for it. And, we don't have anything to lose in a way. Obviously, we don't want to get a score of 10-0 against us, but I just feel that there is a chance. I really still believe in the team that they can do this. And I just think, they'll have to just really, really go for it. Take a risk, obviously, but if they don't, then we're out, because there's no group stages at this point. It's you're out basically. So I think it's important that they play very put 3 forwards on, change a little bit at the back, and then take it from there.
Yeah, if you don't go for it, you'll get nothing out of the game. You've got to, you've got to risk it a little bit. I mean, in that first game, especially in the first, let's say, 10 minutes, you caused our defence a lot of problems. There was a lot of pressure. We were making mistakes at the back, and some City fans, they may not want to hear this, but every game we play, we make mistakes at the back. We're certainly not the finished article passing the ball around. And you put the pressure on, and that's how you got your first goal. You had other chances as well. I think there was one after 40 seconds where, was it offside? I think it was just offside, but Ellie Roebuck came out as well. But, it showed the value of putting that pressure on and giving it a go. So do you think you'll come out of the traps and say, look, we are away from home, but we're really going to give it a go, and we're going to put the pressure onto City?
They're going to have to. And, they played Bayern in Munich, and they won. So they won with 1-0. That was last year. So, and we have the players, we have the talent to do that. And like I said, my top 4 players, Bilde was one of them, and she scored, and she's an incredibly dangerous player. She's extended her contract by 1 day, and she can play in the Champions League here. So that's a bit crazy. But, we do have the talent, and we do have incredibly talented players, Finnish internationals, Norwegian international, and obviously lots of players in the Swedish national team. So we do have the talent to do it. And I just think, they just have to believe in themselves. They can actually beat you guys. It's very easy to think, oh gosh, it's Man City, and, I'm going to be scared, or we're going to be a bit cautious. But the way they played during the week, it was just incredible. They did put all this pressure on straight away, and I do feel that with the youngsters in as well, they have no fear, which is a fantastic way to start a game. And I said they put a lot of pressure on. Yes, of course, there were some dodgy moments as well, but I do think that if they do believe in themselves, they do come out, I think that can surprise you, and I really hope that they will, of course.
Absolutely, the surprise is there waiting to happen. I mean, as I see it, if you can get that goal, I mean, City are looking at it, and the fans and the players are probably saying, you need to score 2 goals, you need to win by 2 clear goals. It's unlikely to happen, but you score first, and then I'm sure mentally it will have an impact on the players, because then one mistake and you score again and you're through. So, you know, it's got to play a part. And as you say, you know, if you can go out and score and put the pressure on and make them make mistakes and score that early goal or score the first goal, do you think that pressure, there's a lot of pressure on Manchester City because, look, we've got a good squad, we've got all these new players, we should be doing better in the Champions League, but every time we get into the knockout stages, we fail in the knockout stages of the Champions League. And so there's that expectation from all the other players. Do you think that will weigh heavily if you guys score first?
I mean, it will be incredibly important whoever scores first, because if you guys score first, I think that would be incredibly tough to come back from that already being, you know, being down. So the only thing I can think of, you know, is the advantage that we have is the fact Damallsvenskan is just so competitive. As I explained earlier on in the week, you know, it's kind of like the 10th team can beat the first team. Yeah. Yes, top 3 are pretty much top 4 are very often the same teams. However, it's such a competitive league where there's such pressure on you every single game. Whereas here in in England, the league, you have the top tier, you have the middle tier, and you have a bottom tier kind of thing, and it's expected to win. Of course, yes, sometimes there are a few surprises, but I do think that it's a more competitive league in Sweden. So I think they're used to the pressure. I also think, you know, they have this experience now, having played Champions League already 1 year, and so they have the confidence of winning the league, and they did pretty well against you. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a big score against us. And I do believe that the players are mentally very, very tough. They're very tough and very strong and fit. And I do believe that they can do it. I mean, I'm not just saying this as a supporter. I'm just saying,
to believe it.
You know, they're a very good team, and I think Man City had a very tough draw on this. There could have been so many other teams that could have won, but yeah, I think this is a pretty tough, very even match. I think it will be again a very even match as it was, you know, early in the week. So yeah, fingers crossed. Though.
My final question, as always, is your score prediction. You've got to give enough for you guys to get through. What's your score prediction?
Well, I just think it's going to be a crazy game this time because they're just going to go for it. I think it's going to be quite a lot of goals. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go with 5-3.
To
right?
you guys?
5-2, actually 5-2. That's it. 5-2.
5-2 us.
5-2. Yes, I'm going to go for it. I know I'm probably very crazy.
I can't believe that.
I just think they're going to go for it. I really think they're going to go for it.
Crazy scores go. That is a crazy scoreline, and there's no fans because, you know, your players extended her contract. Was it Vilda by 1 day so she can play?
Yes.
Fortunately, I think the review is on the 16th of whether Manchester's in Tier 2 or Tier 3, which means no fans. If as hoped we go down to Tier 2, from then on there'll be fans, but for this game they can't be, which is a shame. And I think that would have certainly made a difference. I think a positive difference from Man City, but I'm sure I said 2-1 last time to City. I'm sure I got it right. So I'm going to give you guys a chance.
You're right. Right.
I'm going to give you guys a chance. I'm going to say 1-1. 1-1.
Okay.
And if you score first, that will really put the cat amongst the pigeons. The City players, it will get into their minds. As I said, there's all this expectation on Man City, on the players and the club to do it and to move forward in Europe and to win games. But if you score first, the players are just going to know one more goal and we're out. So that's going to get on them. It's going to play on them. Even though we've got Champions League winners and quality players, they're human after all, and they have emotions and feelings and worries. And I think that will play on them. But I think 1-1, it's one of them again. 1-1, I think your guys will go away and say we did well, and you'll be pleased with the performance and the result overall because you've not been embarrassed. And I think City will be happy just to get through and build from that. But it's going to be. I'm getting a bit nervous already talking about it. A couple of days away. So
I mean, you got a big game today, and I think that's going to play a lot. You know, that's going to have a massive impact on the game, depending on how today goes for you. Because, like I said, I think if it's going to be a tough game today, then I think we're definitely going to have a big advantage mentally as well. So, and you know, maybe I don't know, physically as well, with the tiredness, possible injuries. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, you don't wish any injuries on anyone. But I just think that it will work in our advantage if the result today doesn't go your way. But regardless of that, everyone is a professional on that field.
Yeah.
Everybody will do their best, and they are, as you said as well, they're professional athletes. They're incredibly tough mentally and physically as well. And whatever will happen on during the week, I just think it's going to be an incredible game. But I just think with the talent that we have and with nothing to lose, we may get 10 goals against us by taking such a big risk. But
you got to go in
I
there
do think,
and give it a go. You're going to go in there and give it a go. That's the main thing. You're not going to go down with that fight.
So Jennifer Falk is incredible. She had a great game, and I think she's going to give you another headache again. The next game.
Bettina, I've got to say once again, it's a big thank you to come on the channel and share your views and hopes and dreams for you. And wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure. It's really nice to get to know you as well, Ray. So thank you very much.